I'm here in front of Angelo's Burgers on the corner of White and Mission. And I'm on a mission. I'm looking for a certain historical marker. The marker used to be just about here in front of the old storage shed, I guess you would call it. The building with the drive-through sign on it, in the parking lot of Angelo's Burgers. The marker noted the location of Ayers Cottage, and Ayers Cottage was important because it was the first classroom, actually the first building for Pomona College, which later became part of the Claremont Colleges, and it was right here at the corner of White and Mission in Pomona. The Claremont Colleges and the city itself wouldn't exist as they are today had it not been for a gamble gone bad by the Santa Fe Railroad and by the generosity, tenacity, and foresight of a few notable figures. In May of 1885, the Education Committee of the Association of the Congregational Churches in Southern California was given full power to choose a site and to build a new college. The committee decided on Scanlon Mesa, a place about 4 miles north of Pomona. A local and very persuasive pastor named Charles Sumner convinced H.A. Palmer to donate 80 acres to the cause. The mesa was renamed Piedmont Mesa as part of a plan for a new town to be called Piedmont. Residents of Claremont know Scanlon Mesa, later renamed Indian Hill Mesa, as the site of the Botanical Gardens and the former Claremont Golf Course for many years. It just so happens that in 1886, the first refrigerator cars on the Southern Pacific Railroad entered operation, permitting oranges and other perishable fruits and vegetables to be transported across the continent for the first time. This new accessibility would help to fuel the big land rush that began in 1885 but would soon end in 1888. The Santa Fe Railroad made the ambitious decision to construct a new hotel as a centerpiece of a proposed new town they would call Claremont the Beautiful. However, many of the lots sold were financed with newfangled promissory notes. After the real estate boom busted in 1888, and without laws governing these notes, many of the new landowners simply walked away, leaving Santa Fe Railroad holding the bag. Now, stuck with many unsold lots and a fancy unfurnished hotel that would be abandoned, Santa Fe Railroad needed a plan to divest itself from these liabilities. Claremont might have become North Pomona or East Lordsburg, or simply joined a long list of railroad ghost towns, had it not been for H.A. Palmer, now on the college board, who helped to convince Santa Fe to donate the hotel and 250 empty parcels to the recently founded Pomona College through the newly formed Pacific Land Improvement Company. Meanwhile, back on Scanlon Hill, the Pomona College Board was moving forward with its plans to build a college on the mesa and a small town of Piedmont around it. Pastor Sumner had already finished building his fine Victorian-style home at the base of the mesa. The board hired the famous San Francisco architect Clinton Day to design the main hall. However, they didn't have the expected $45,000 to build it, but the board decided as a show of faith to begin building anyway. On the very day the cornerstone was laid on Scanlon Mesa, the board found out about the hotel and the 50 acres being given to them by Santa Fe Railroad. The building on Scanlon Mesa was put on hold temporarily, then permanently a few years later, although the colleges still retain ownership of that land. The college, the town of Claremont, and Santa Fe Railroad drew up plans for a shiny new Claremont. A campus would be built between 4th and 6th Streets. The Claremont Hotel would be moved onto the campus and would become a classroom and also serve as the president's office, along with a new building which would become Holmes Hall. Just south of 1st Street, there would be a new plaza and the existing train station would be moved there. The hotel was moved right away and it became Claremont Hall, and a new station would be built on this spot in 1928. The college opened for business in September 12, 1888, with classes being held in the tiny 5-room Ayers Cottage. Appealing to the masses, Pomona College offered preparatory classes as well as collegiate classes. Tuition for the first year was $45 in the preparatory class and $60 in the collegiate class. If you wanted a diploma, that would cost you an extra $5.
Bugger this, I'm off.
There were 110 freshmen that first year. The hotel was moved during Christmas vacation, and Claremont Hall was renamed Sumner Hall. In 1890, the college built the Baldwin House, named for Cyrus Baldwin, the first president of the college. It was built a few houses north of 1st Street on College Avenue, where it remains today. The students were forbidden from drinking, smoking, or profane language during their terms. The collegiate side was struggling to retain students. In 1890, only 17 collegiate freshmen attended, and money was desperately needed. The Holmes family donated $25,000 for a new hall to be built in their name. The Board of Trustees agreed, and Holmes Hall became the first building actually built at the college. In 1895, the cornerstone which had been laid at Piedmont Mesa was moved to a site just south of the current Carnegie Building by the class of 1895. In 1899, Pearson's Hall was dedicated and was the third major building on the campus. The building was named for Dr. D.K. Pearson's after Pearson's gave a donation of $20,000. This also marked the first purchase of land for the college. In 1900, the Renwick House was built by Helen Renwick, a Claremont philanthropist, and it was built just across the street from where it stands now. Also built in 1900 was the Seaver House, built by Carlton and Estella Seaver. Originally built in Pomona, it was moved to its present location in 1979. It occupies the spot where the Claremont Inn once stood. In 1901, the Sumner House was moved from Piedmont to its current location at the corner of First and College. In 1904, by vote of a Claremont town meeting, streets running east and west would be designated by numbers, while streets running north and south should be avenues named for colleges and universities. The main street bisecting the campus would be changed to College Avenue. That same year, with Andrew Carnegie building libraries all over the country, Pomona College wanted their piece of the pie. So they reached out for a $30,000 to $40,000 donation for a new library. Carnegie came through with a $40,000 donation, providing the college matched the funds. It took a while, but the college managed to raise their share of the funds, and building began on the Carnegie Library 2 years later. Also in 1905, Nathan Blanchard, a trustee, convinced the college to acquire a 64-acre parcel of land to the east of the original campus called the Wash. In 1906, the Claremont Inn was built just across the street from the campus to serve as a meeting hall, a hotel for visitors, and a dining hall for the students. However, it soon became one of the main residence halls, and it served as the home for the McKenna family for 5 years. It was a Claremont landmark for 60 years, and in 1968 it was demolished. In 1908, the trustees commissioned architect Myron Hunt to design a campus plan for Pomona College. The stately Carnegie Library opened. Brackett Observatory was dedicated and was paid for entirely by Llewellyn Bixby, class of 1901. Smiley Hall, a dormitory building, was built in 100 days during the summer of 1908 and opened in September of that year. The college now had a total enrollment of 500 students, but was still facing a financial crisis. The college had an outstanding debt of $135,000. Student housing on campus was inadequate, and a lot of the students were still living at the Claremont Inn. The president at the time, George Gates, resigned in frustration. What Pomona College needed now was a visionary leader who could grow the college into one that would rival the finest in America. In 1910, James Blaisdell became the 4th president of Pomona College, and he was determined to turn things around.